Yeah, it's a day of celebration. Who knows, it might be an entire week of celebration. Rolling with hockey then, Jamaica celebrated qualification for the first edition of the Hockey Fives World Cup. The Jamaica men's team booking their place at the tournament in Oman next year by finishing third at the Pan American Cup, which ended in Kingston at the weekend. The Jamaicans defeating Paraguay 5-2 in that third place playoff. Of course, Trinidad and Tobago also made it to the Hockey Fives World Cup. They finished second in the Pan American Cup, losing to the United States of America in the championship match after producing some stellar performances on their way, including a victory over the Jamaicans. We're going to get to Trinidad and Tobago, but first we have members of the Jamaica team with us after their historic performance only a matter of days ago. Just absolutely stunning. Never before had we seen Jamaican teams qualify for a Hockey World Cup. Johnny Burton is the captain and his co-captain and goalkeeper Richard Harris. They join us on the Sportsman Zone. Gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to have you both. And I just want to get right away the reaction to reaching a Hockey World Cup. Let's go with the captain first.
To be honest, it still hasn't sunk in as yet, right? The team, personally, we worked for it, we trained for it, but to actually punch our ticket and to get there, it still hasn't sunk in just yet.
Yeah.
I keep getting the congratulations, I keep getting the text messages, the calls and everything, but it still don't feel real just yet.
Yeah, Richie?
It's kind of like you do something for your entire life. You love sports, you play sports for your entire life. You train every day, you work hard, and then it's almost as if a culmination of everything that you've done over your entire life. Your short life, but over your entire life. To be possibly a World Cup participant, only few people get to do that. So
yeah, it's really amazing. Ajani, back to you. I want to find out more about where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with you, Ajani.
All right, so it all started when, to be honest, we have been in training for...
I want to know when you started.
When I started hockey when I was actually at KC. I played cricket and football first, and then the hockey coach saw me and he said, what position you play on the cricket team? And I was like, I'm the wicketkeeper. And he's like, come try goalkeeper for KC. And from there, that's where it started. Tried on the pads, got in the goal, stopped some shots, and I never looked back from then.
Wow. How about you, Richie?
I started in prep school. I was introduced to the game then. I stopped playing and started playing cricket. Well, continued playing cricket.
Yes.
And then back at high school in PE class, we were doing hockey, and the coach was like, "Oh, you seem like you know something about this." He was also the hockey coach, and he invited me to come to the hockey training, and I guess this is where we are now.
Yes.
So you never had dreams of representing West Indies and playing franchise T20 cricket around the world?
Yeah, of course. But sometimes you don't get to choose your path, and I can't be upset with where we are now.
Yeah, how good a cricketer were you, Ajani?
Well, I was very good in my honest opinion. I was one of the top batsmen for KC in that day.
Hold on a sec there. Richard, how good a cricketer was he?
No, Ajani is not in my age bracket. I didn't play against Ajani in high school.
So you're older?
No, I'm young. I'm young. No, I'm younger than Ajani.
Yeah. Okay, so you never saw him play?
No, I didn't play against him in high school, no.
And you've not seen him play?
Cricket, no. But I've seen him in the goal and he's a very good goalkeeper. So
okay.
Thank you for that, Richard.
But for your honest opinion, you were a very good cricketer.
Yeah, I was a very good cricketer.
On your way to making the West Indies team.
Definitely. Because I was actually invited to the Jamaica Under-19 trials a number of times. So
wow.
It wasn't like I was not a good player. I was a good player.
So you made a lot of runs?
Yeah. I did.
What number did you bat? Tell me about your cricketing exploits.
All right, so I was the opening batsman for KC.
Yes.
I was batted at number 1. So I started out as a wicketkeeper in the middle order when I played under 14, and then when I went to under 16 and under 19, then I moved up the order, and I was the man to kickstart the innings.
Yeah, so here we have two cricketers or former cricketers who had aspirations of playing West Indies cricket, and now they're going to the World Cup for hockey to represent Jamaica. This dream of getting to the Hockey Fives World Cup, at what stage did you realize we have a chance, we have a real chance of getting to Oman?
This group of guys that we have together has been around for probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
To be honest, when it started, the Hockey Fives World Cup wasn't on the list of things that we wanted to achieve because it wasn't really around.
Yeah.
The format is very brand new. And then maybe at the end of last year, beginning of this year, we whispers were around that there will be a Hockey Fives World Cup and the qualifiers will be held in Kingston. Mm-hmm. And the PAF region is very strong, the Pan American region that we play in. And then, so we knew it would be difficult to qualify, but we knew we had a chance being at home. And then some of the stronger countries, Argentina, Mexico, Canada, they opted away from participating in the fives. So we knew that there were 3 spaces up for grabs, and we really believed that we were one of the top 3 teams amongst those participating, and with the home crowd advantage, we really thought we had a chance to qualify.
So, Captain, you came in with a lot of belief.
Yes, we did. And to build on what Richie just said, we've been together for more than a year now. So we were in training for the CSE qualifiers that held in Bermuda last year, and so we kind of kept the core group together, and we were in training. And when we got the news that the World Cup qualifiers would be kept in Kingston, we were like, okay, let's just deviate a little from CSE training and start training for the Hockey Fives. But yeah.
How different is it for training for the normal format as opposed to this shorter, faster, the ball never goes out format of the game?
First up, it came as a shocker to me because with the ball never going out, I was like, how am I going to get a breather? Because the game and even though it's 10 minutes, it feels like an eternity. 10 minutes per half rather, it feels like an eternity. And so the larger game is that you had more time, you had more space, you could actually cheat and get a little bit of a breather, you know what I mean, at certain position at the field, but not in the fives. Like in the fives, it's just constant. The person is always in front of you, the ball is almost always near you. And the training, to be honest, was that it challenged us to be a lot fitter, one, and it challenged us to focus a lot more. Because one mistake can cause you a goal. Yeah. You can be down. And one of the harsh reality we found out was that we made a number of errors in one of our matches and we were down a couple goals well.
Yeah. Richard, take me into the team talk going into that Paraguay game, the 3rd place playoff, because of course you know you win this and you're going to the World Cup.
Our coach was just telling us to stick to our game plan. He really believed that we were the better team. We also believe that. And he told us that once we stuck to our game plan, played to our strengths, in the quarterfinals against Guatemala, we came out a bit slow, and he said, once we don't come out slow like that again, and we get in front of Paraguay, then we should be okay.
Yeah, Richard, you're certified as an international umpire.
Yes.
But you've left umpiring and you've decided to play.
Yes.
What's that transition been like?
It's been great. I mean, nobody as a kid dreams of being a referee.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. When I started out, I was much younger. And then as time progressed, the opportunity arose for me to shift. So why not?
I don't understand though. Usually you start as a player and then you
shift to an umpire.
You then become an umpire later on. How did you become an umpire first?
Well, put it this way, I wasn't good enough to make the team then, but I was good enough to be a good umpire. I continued working on my game and eventually I made the national team.
That's an amazing story in and of itself though. I mean, when you say you continued working on your game, give us some details into what you would have done differently.
Honestly, there's not one thing that you can do differently to improve yourself. I mean, there are things you can work on, but it's just every day chipping away, trying to get better every day at what you do. Small stuff, focusing on the details, And you won't maybe you look today, you look back tomorrow, you won't see how better you are. But when you check back a long span, you realize how far you've really come.
Yeah, that's so true. Captain, what does it look like now between now and the World Cup next year?
Well, our first focus is to regain or focus on CSC, which is a couple weeks away.
Yes.
So we're actually using the CSC not only as, you know, a tournament that we're actually going to participate in, but we're also using it as a stepping stone to get to ourselves prepared for, you know, the World Cup. And definitely we are thinking that we are actually going in the right direction, because CSC, we like Richie said earlier, we're looking at CSC as our main focus, and then we heard that the Hockey Fives were coming around, and they were trying to shift focus to the Hockey Fives, and now it's shifting focus back to the CSC. And what we are really actually going to hope to achieve from CSC is actually to qualify for the PANAM Games. Right.
Yeah, which will be fantastic. The PANAM Games later on this year, so could be another event before the World Cup next year. We're fast out of time. Richard, you said you were younger than your captain. How old are you? How much younger?
I'm 27.
You're 27. You're an old man. I don't even want to hear a Johnny's age.
Well, I mean, I'm not very far from him, but yeah.
We are in the top 4 oldest on the team. And that's
So why don't you want to say your
No,
age?
I'm 32. I'm 32 years old.
You're a mature man.
Yeah, man. I'm 32 years old.
All right. The two youngish men who wanted to represent the West Indies, and now they'll be representing Jamaica first at the CSC Games, which comes up in a matter of weeks, hopefully then at the Pan American Games, and then at the Hockey Fives World Cup. Congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations to the entire Jamaican hockey fraternity and Trinidad and Tobago as well, who are heading to the World Cup. We take a break. We'll be back with more on the Sportsman Zone.